All right, I received some questions about what to do with the nurse advocacy in the community. So I'm going to go through the directions with you and try to help you guys pull it together, okay? All right. So here is, all right, you're going to have to bear with me because I didn't practice or anything. Okay, so here is just setting context, right? So you're going to use theories and frameworks to approach a healthcare issue. And the theory and the framework that I have set up for you to pull from is the Minnesota Wheel, right? And then you're going to integrate communication within that framework. So you have developing global perspectives, and honestly, I think, yeah, and then analysis. So you need to use that theory and framework and create a persuasive argument on a position that you've selected. You need an appropriate and realistic intervention, and you have to show some knowledge of the topic. So pick an active healthcare concern that impacts society. It can be anything. God help me, but you can use COVID, right? That would be the obvious choice. And you can view COVID from a local perspective, depending on where you live. You can do it at a state perspective. You can do it at a federal level. You can do it at a world level. Then you're going to have to go in and you're going to have to do a little bit of research about the latest and greatest on your issue. So what you need to do is you need to come at this topic as if you were going to advocate with someone in at a policy-making level. So if you were doing something at the city level, it would be like your alderman or your mayor. My dog is growling. She may bark. I'm apologizing ahead of time. Ricky, knock it off. Sorry. Or you can do something like at a state level. That would be kind of when we did the, if you guys did the Capitol Day at the Capitol, it would be those same people that you listed at the Day at the Capitol. Or if you're going to do something at a federal level, or at the World Health Organization level. So what you want to do is you want to create a 3-minute elevator speech. So a lot of times, remember when we went to the Day at the Capitol and they were talking about how to talk to your politicians? So what you want to do is you want to say, this is the issue, and this is what I'd like you to do about it. And then usually if you can tell a personal story. So that's kind of the outline of what you need to do for the project. And the reason this is here, this is the yellow wedge of advocacy that's part of the Minnesota Wheel. So here are the basic steps to advocating what you need to do, and it kind of goes over them. Clearly select the advocates. So this is just to help your line of thinking. I can see why these directions would be confusing now that I'm doing this out loud. And then here's an example, and it can be anything that you're passionate about. It can be about environment. It can be about the water. It could be about the lack of nurse educators. It could be about, I was going to say vaccines, but then that leads us back to COVID. Other vaccines. It could be about mental health concerns, whatever you're passionate about. So what you'll have to do on your own is kind of find out what the current issues are. And Healthy People 2030 is another great place to start. So that's kind of the lens, I guess. Let me see what this grading rubric looks like. Oh, okay. So there's the theory. And then, of course, this is wrong. Gosh, you guys, I'm sorry. I will fix this because you're not going to do an email. You're going to do an elevator speech. Oh, I'll just put non-A here because I just felt like the email and the speech were too much. So don't worry about doing that. Please do the self-assessment prompts. And I'm going to fix this part right now because that's just ridiculousness. And I'm sorry. So I hope this answers your questions. Okay? All right. Sorry, guys. I'm doing my best, but this is not my best right here. I ain't gonna lie. Shoot.